So this is our starting gap. We're going to loosen this ring so that this ring will also adjust up, and then we can turn the entire assembly to move it up and down inside this body here. If we lift the boot real quick, you can see pretty low on our preload setting as well, which means it's probably going to be a pretty comfy ride. This is not working. Let me use my dominant hand. So actually, lifting the boot, we don't really have much room. There's just a little bit of threading, maybe 2 centimeters or so, and then the rest of this up top here is not threaded. So we've got a decent amount of preload on it still. We definitely don't want to lower this. We may bump these up a little bit after the first track day, just once we get a feel of where it's at and my preferences, I guess, for how it feels on track. But yeah, let's get to measuring this out real quick, and we'll compare it to the other side and start making some adjustments. So yes, we did this on the bench, but we're gonna want to do this again. I'm gonna actually measure from the bottom of this ring now to this flat part of the bottom spring perch locking ring, and it looks like we're at 4 centimeters. So we're gonna take that down to 3 centimeters. There was a video from Tein online that says that every 1 centimeter that you're going to adjust between this right here should give you about 1.5 centimeters, actual drop or raise, depending on which way you're going. So I'm gonna drop it 1 centimeter between these two guys, and that should give us about 15 millimeters of drop on this, which I think is gonna be about perfect, but we will see. So we got 4 centimeters here. Let's check the other side. So 4 centimeters on the driver's side. Passenger side is right there, about that same 4 centimeters. I'm gonna go back to the other side and just double check, and then we'll get these things loose and start adjusting. Okay, so we've got our spanner wrench attached to our breaker bar, and we've already kind of broke that loose. I cheated before starting the film. So that's loose. So we're gonna go on up, and now we're gonna need to break this guy loose. Camera foul. Actually, I probably don't need the breaker bar anymore. Just getting in the way. Put that out. There we go. Starting to spin nice and free for us. There we go. So measurements are measurements, right? So technically we can measure right between here to get our 1 centimeter. So I'm gonna measure there, double check there, start screwing some stuff down. Okay, so got about 1.5 centimeters. We've already moved that, so that's going to give us a little over 2 centimeters drop, which I don't think we need that much. So let's dial that down a little bit. Okay. Kind of hard to read on the measuring tape like that, so we're going to do from the 2 to the 3, and that looks like 1 centimeter right there. So if we do that, one centimeter. If we go up from here to here, we are at, I don't know if you can see that, 3 centimeters. So that's where we want to be. So at least to start. So we're going to start turning the body of this wonderful strut assembly. Oh, there we go. Until this bottom ring is touching here again, and then we will lock that into place and do the same thing for the other side. Seems like I'm going the right way, but let's just double check to make sure, yeah? So we've got, yep, we're closing the gap between that 1 millimeter right there. So let's just keep on going. It's a lot easier on a brand new set of coilovers. Oop. So it seems like we're down there. We'll just double check because I might have over-rotated. But yeah, like I was saying, new set of coilovers. You're not gonna have any road gunk or anything in here yet, so this is super easy like butter to fucking change right now. Otherwise, you may be looking at a much tougher time. So yeah, we went a little bit lower than I'd like. So let's jack it back up just a little bit. I don't want to make this nice and even, you know, full centimeter adjustments until we get where we want to be. All right. So there we are, 3 centimeters. So we want to get this guy back off so we can tighten this guy up. Yeah, we're gonna torque that down anyway, because I feel like this is gonna be exactly where I want it to be, and I don't want to have to keep taking the wheels on and off. So it says 101 point something plus or minus a few, so we're just gonna go to 102 foot-pounds, and that should be sufficient enough to be torqued down exactly where we want to be. And this is for both the bottom ring and the locking ring. So we're going to start with bottom ring. Out for the ABS line that's there, getting in the way. Time to reposition. Boom, there it is. Sexy. This guy's supposed to be torqued the same, so let's actually start this all over like this. tell you what, I've never had a set of spanner wrenches that hooked up to a torque wrench like this before. This is amazing. If you've ever done coilovers before, tried to set your ride heights or anything like that, a lot of the especially cheaper coilovers will come with just like a basic spanner wrench, and if you need to torque it down to spec, yeah, good luck. So this is great. All right, thought I got the clip before I did. Just wanted to make sure. So we're all set there. We haven't touched these. Those were torqued down already. So let's double check. We are now at 3 centimeters instead of 4. Fantastic. So as you can see, pretty easy. I'm gonna knock out the other side. Here we go, passenger side front strut. That didn't take much at all. Okay. Okay, again, we're gonna measure our gap here. Looks like about 1 centimeter. Right there. Okay, so I saw that bottom ring stop this time. So it should be right where we want to be. And pull that down real quick for funsies. So we were right there at a 3 centimeter gap. So once this torques down the rest of the way, the little hair that we're off looks like we'll be there. You know, I'm just gonna double check because I like to double check. Back it up just a little bit. Okay. Now, let's pull that guy back up. There we go. All right, let's check this out. So we are at, oh my goodness, a perfect 3 centimeters between the collars. Let's torque that shit down and move on. Pull that guy off. Okay, let's give ourselves as much range as we can to get that final spin and torque click. Sexy. Get down there. Boom. All right. So ride height should be set. Again, we're gonna double check for like the 3 billionth time because that's what we do. And we are right there at 3 centimeters distance between. So I'm happy with that. I'm hoping that when we drop this thing back down that we're looking great. Just gonna double check torque on these real quick just before we go down because I'm hoping that this is the setting that we want. So those guys are set to 42 foot-pounds, 41 point whatever with the plus or minus variant. So we're gonna go with 42 because it just seems like a nice even number, right? 42 foot-pounds, wham, bam. And we want to go up with this, so we're actually going this way instead of the other way we were doing with those 2 bottom guys. And let's just make sure it was good. All right, back at it. Had to ward off the door-to-door salespeople trying to sell some Verizon wireless internet. I don't know fucking what they were selling, but I told them to kick rocks because I had to finish this shit already. right. Those are already tight from the factory, which is dope. I really love this whole setup. There's really a lot of stuff I really didn't have to fuck with. And you know, with filming and this being one of my first times trying to film while installing, I'm very happy I didn't have to do 1,000,001 different little adjustments. So let's drop this and get to the rears. Peace. Well, I was about as stoked with that adjustment as I am with this fucking pile of laundry behind me that I still have to do. But this comes first. So we're gonna go down another 15 millimeters, which should put us at a 30 millimeter drop in total. Hopefully this does it. So this is where we ended up. Decent gap. It's not too low. I can still fit my jack under the front so I can jack up both front tires at the same time. Plenty of clearance for good enough suspension travel without hopefully bottom out, hitting fenders and shit. So we're gonna get rid of some of that giant gap back there now. Woo! Okay, back at the rears. So essentially the same thing as the fronts, except there's only one ring that locks in your height adjustment instead of the 2 rings. So I already broke this loose. I had measured 5 centimeters between everything. We're gonna drop it just a little over 2 centimeters. We did 2 centimeters up front. We're gonna do just a little bit more in the back, not too much, because we want to keep that rake, that front rake as well. But yeah, basically the same as the fronts. We're just gonna keep adjusting down, tighten, lower the car, and double check. Hopefully we get this one done on the first try, since we already kind of have the fronts dialed in and we know where we're kind of going from here. But you know, camera's about to die, so that's going to be it for adjustments until we get to the alignment rack, which I'll try and post a video of that if the shop will allow me to film while we're doing it. Appreciate it. Peace.